he says, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with, and then he says, ton theon. The Word was with the God, kai, and theos was, theos, ein, ha, logos. He doesn't say, and the Word, and the God was the Word. He simply says God. So he drops, there's no the here, there's no ton or tes or ha or whatever that we would think should be there if we would have the Word was, the God was the Word. So based on that, commentators have jumped on this and said, maybe there's something that John's trying to hint at here, because we don't have this extra ton just before theos here. So maybe this could be translated a few different ways. I've heard some translators say that this word theos, which is rendered as God, can also be rendered simply as deity, as if it's a quality of God, meaning it's John's trying to say, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with the being called God, and deity was the Word, or the Word was deity, kind of giving it an adjective type quality, right? Trying to describe the quality of the Word rather than just making this a statement of identity. God, like the person, was the Word. So in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God. This first God, some translators would say, this is the statement of God's identity. The Word was with the being known as God. This Word, which is its being, its identity, was with this being known as God. And this being, this logos, this being, this person, this identity, this individual, this I don't want to say this thing because that sounds so irreverent, but this logos has a quality of being deity. We could translate the verse that way. In the beginning was the Word, and this being of the Word was with the being known as God, and this being known as the Word was deity. Okay, that's a way we could do it, since there's no extra the. Although I don't particularly think that's what John is trying to highlight. We'll look at next week as to what I think are some of the stronger possibilities, what he's trying to highlight. But that's one of the starting places, is just to read through the raw information. By way of interest, if we were to look up this passage in Hebrew, and I'll close with this. I've got pulled up right now sarshalom.us. It's a website that allows me to see some Hebrew translations from the Greek. John wrote perhaps in Hebrew, perhaps in Aramaic, but what we've got preserved for us by way of original manuscript is Greek. So that's kind of what's going on. Look at this Hebrew, and I'll close with this, and this will be a teaser for next week as well. So we've got the same over here, the English on the right side. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. Notice with God, right? The Word was, it doesn't just say the Word was God. It doesn't say in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was God, and the Word was God, and the Word was God. That would be kind of redundant. But in the Hebrew, we can see here, Bereshit haya hadavar, in the beginning was haya hadavar, the Word. V'hadavar haya et ha-Elohim, and the Word, the Hebrew here, and the Word was with et ha-Elohim. This little word et is sometimes a sign of the definite article, but also it can function as the conveying conjunction with, just like we had in the Greek. And the word, I'm sorry, preposition, not conjunction. Pros in the Greek is what we're getting over here in the Hebrew as et. And then the et ha-Elohim, v'hu hadavar haya Elohim, v'hu hadavar haya Elohim, and he, literally, and he, who, hadavar, the Word, was God. So, one more time, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with the God, right? Remember, theon, the God, and he, the Word, was God. And notice there's no ha, which would be ton in Greek, and the Word was the God, because God, it doesn't say ton theon, it simply says or ton theos, it simply says theos. So the translation of the Hebrew here is trying to very closely match. In fact, basically word for word, it matches the Greek, and this is really nice. All right, and that's going to be it for our teaser for tonight as far as the longer version. We're going to pick this up next week, and what we're going to be looking at, this is just to let you kind of look forward to it, we're going to start looking at this word from the perspective of the first century. What does it mean that the word was with God, or the word was God? How would first century Jews have interacted with this phrase, the word? The Aramaic phrase memra or ha-memra, mamar from the root, had its own theology in Paul's day, in John's day, I'm sorry. And so we're going to look at that next week, talk a little bit about the Targums and the memra, about God. We'll also look at a quote from Tim Heggs. He's got a study entitled "The Messiah: Introduction to Christology." It's part of his seminary type studies. It's part of the course material that if you're going to attend his online or attend his seminary level trainings, this is part of the required reading material. And he's got a chapter here on John 1:1, and we're going to look at the word was God. We'll look at some highlights in the Greek from that next week. And then we'll also begin to look at Dr. Dale Tuggy, the Unitarian perspective on who this word might be and the deity of Yeshua. And we'll actually pull a quote from Dr. Tuggy's Trinity's blog podcast of the incarnation of God's Logos, John 1:1 through 1:18. We'll start to look at what Tuggy thinks about this phrase of, who is this word made flesh and things like that. Okay, so with that, let's draw our study to a close.